Now at 5:30, a fun time quickly became scary for people at a Lexington karaoke bar. Luckily, bar employees pulled the mic on an armed suspect before he could bring harm to others.
Details on that coming up on WKYT this morning. Also, Kentucky college students could soon see a hike in tuition costs. What impact that could have on your education? Just ahead this morning.
And the presidential frontrunners are steaming ahead toward winning their party's nominations. More from the campaign trail coming up.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. It's Wednesday, April 27th. We're glad you're with us. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Meredith Jones. And you know, it's hump day.
It is.
Gotta like it.
So we're to that point. But it's also been, it's the day after the thunderstorms. And
That's
a lot
true.
of you probably heard that and had...
I did. It was giving, I was like, what in the world is that? Is it trash cans moving? No, it's thunder.
It was, and it was pretty continuous for many folks. It's calm for now, but we're going to see more. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, we only have a few showers out and about. Those thunderstorms have moved on out. And since those have moved out, the showers have taken over. But let me show you this. I want to show you back toward Bowling Green. Obviously, that is not our viewing area. However, it still shows you that there is that front right over us. And as long as that front is there, we can spark up a few thunderstorms. Already a severe thunderstorm back toward Bowling Green, and it looks like it's moving eastbound. So go through your day. Much of your day is going to be on and off. You'll get big breaks here and there of dry weather, and then we're going to slide off into late afternoon, off into the evening hours. Here comes another round of thunderstorms in the forecast, but are we looking at severe weather in our area? I'm going to talk about that coming up in just about 10 minutes.
All right, we hope not, but we'll get those details. Thank you.
All right, well, new this morning, patrons looking for a good time got quite the scare after a fight broke out at a Lexington bar.
Thanks to some brave employees who were working there, nobody was injured, despite the man being armed with several different weapons there at the time. WKYT's Mark Barber is joining us live outside Max Karaoke on Lane Allen Road with the details. Mark?
Good morning, Bill. A bartender here helped talk the armed man down, and when it appeared like he was putting the gun back into his pocket, the DJ tackled him so he could not get away. It was an intense situation here. The bar was busy, the man was armed, and police think he was also drunk. It happened around 3 this morning at Max Karaoke Bar on Lane Allen Road. Employees were closing the bar for the night when they realized one of their customers was slipping money out of the DJ's tip jar and into his own pockets. The thief was armed with a gun and a knife. Employees did not know what was going to happen next, so they calmly helped a pregnant woman leave the bar. The DJ tackled the man when he saw him putting the gun back into his pocket.
Right when it reached the lip of his pants or his pocket, I thought it was his pocket. That's when I decked him, and then as he was going down, grabbed him by the neck and grabbed his hand as well.
At that point, a couple other people jumped in to help hold the man down until police could get here. Once officers arrived, they took the man into custody, charging him with first-degree robbery. We have not learned his name yet because he's still being booked and processed into the Fayette County Detention Center. Live in Fayette County, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Thank you, Mark. Well, Lexington police are trying to find the man they say stole a car at knife point. Police say a pastor told them he was giving another man a ride to one of the hotels on Buena Vista Drive off Winchester Road last night. But when he got there, police say that other man pulled out a knife, forced the victim out of the car, and stole it. The victim then went to a nearby gas station to call for help. At last check, Lexington police said they haven't found the car, which is a white Kia Soul. They say the suspect is a white man in his late 30s who's scruffy looking and has a medium build. He was also seen wearing a baseball cap.
The time this morning is 5:34 on WKYT. There's a lot of talk these days about the student loans and so forth that so many have, and a college education in the Bluegrass could become more costly for future students.
Yeah, state regulators have now approved tuition increases after the governor cut funding to higher education during an intense legislative session. Now, the same legislative session that also brought a lawsuit against the governor. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner joins us live to break down the details.
Good morning, Meredith. Students right here at the University of Kentucky are among students statewide that could see an increase in tuition. Now, just because state regulators have approved a $500 tuition hike at states statewide colleges and universities doesn't mean it'll happen. Those individual colleges and universities will have to decide what tuition hike, if any, they'll impose. News of potential tuition increases comes after an intense legislative session. Governor Bevin, in his first year, cut millions in state spending on colleges and universities. Some Democratic state lawmakers still aren't pleased with cuts in the two-year operating budget. A state judge has ruled 3 Democratic lawmakers can join a lawsuit filed by Attorney General Andy Beshear seeking to stop the governor from cutting spending on colleges and universities. Now, right now, Governor Bevin is overseas, but his spokeswoman says that won't prevent him from issuing vetoes on the state's two-year budget. He has until midnight tonight to issue those vetoes. Live in Lexington, Caitlin Setner, WKYT.
Caitlin, thank you. Former Governor Steve Beshear is planning to hold a news conference this morning in Frankfort. So far, he is not saying what it will be about. But last week, Governor Bevin said he had hired a private law firm to investigate reports of wrongdoing in the Beshear administration, which included claims of no-bid contracts to help out friends.
Well, frontrunners Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton continue to march toward their party's presidential nominations.
Both of them picked up victories and delegates in northeastern states holding critical primaries yesterday. But as Brooke Silva-Braga reports from New York now, their rivals are not giving up.
After sweeping primary wins Tuesday, Donald Trump declared himself the presumptive GOP nominee, urging Ted Cruz and John Kasich to give up.
As far as I'm concerned, it's over. These two guys cannot win. There's no path.
The Republican frontrunner went 5 for 5 in Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. A win next week in Indiana could make Trump unstoppable. Kasich won't campaign in the state, giving Cruz a one-on-one chance to stall Trump.
Tonight, this campaign moves back to more favorable terrain.
The billionaire candidate is already looking ahead to a general election matchup with Hillary Clinton.
The only thing she's got going is the woman's card, and the beautiful thing is women don't like her.
The Democratic frontrunner welcomed the criticism during a victory speech in Philadelphia.
If fighting for women's health care and paid family leave and equal pay is playing the woman card, then deal me in.
Clinton is 90% of the way to securing the Democratic nomination after beating Bernie Sanders in 4 states yesterday. Despite picking up just 1 win in Rhode Island, the Vermont senator vowed to campaign until the convention.
This campaign is not just about electing a president, it is about transforming our nation.
Sanders would need landslide wins in virtually every remaining state to catch Clinton. Brooke Silva-Braga for CBS News, New York.
And Cruz and Sanders will be campaigning in Indiana today. Trump will be holding an event in the state tonight after delivering a foreign policy speech in Washington this morning.
Former House Speaker Dennis Hastert will be sentenced for violating federal banking laws today. Last year, he pleaded guilty to structuring money transactions to evade reporting where the money was going. Prosecutors say he was covering up hush money that he was paying to one of his sex abuse victims. Federal prosecutors claim Hastert abused at least 4 boys while he was a high school wrestling coach in Yorkville, Illinois. His attorneys are asking the judge to give him probation instead of jail time.
Back here in Kentucky, some people who live along an Anderson County road are suing the state. They're saying that safety changes need to be made there. The suit claims there have been dozens of crashes along Highway 151 near Alton in the last few years, many of them involving commercial vehicles. It also says the road presents a clear and present danger, and the commercial vehicles should not be allowed to travel on it. Others who live on the road support the lawsuit as well, saying that they fear their homes could be damaged.
So far, we've been lucky, but then we know one of these days it's like playing Russian roulette.
The lawsuit also asks for a restraining order and injunction forcing the state to limit the vehicles on the road. The state transportation cabinet has said it is asking the Federal Highway Administration to remove the road from the national truck network.
A man arrested in Kentucky for the murder of a Florida couple will soon be heading back to the Sunshine State. During a hearing in Hazard yesterday, Michael Harold agreed to be sent back to Florida. He was arrested in Perry County earlier this month, days after police say he killed John and Nancy Englehart in the Tampa area. Police say Harold worked for the couple in Florida, but he's originally from Perry County.
A Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report has some alarming findings about the risk of HIV being spread through people who inject drugs. After nearly 200 HIV cases were diagnosed in a southern Indiana community, the CDC conducted a vulnerability assessment of counties most at risk of rapid HIV spread. And this would be through people who use injectable drugs. Of the 220 counties listed in the report, 54 of them are in Kentucky. Wolfe County is ranked number 1. Breathitt, Perry, and Clay counties are also in the top 5. The CDC based the rankings on the number of drug overdoses, unemployment, and opioid sales, among other factors.
Police are investigating some unusual thefts in Hardin County. They say thieves are stealing lumber from barns and sheds. Now, police think they're taking that lumber and selling it outside of the county. They say they've had at least 10 reports of these kinds of thefts. Now, so far, police say they have not made any arrests.
541 on WKYT, and time to check live drive traffic for you. Let's see what is going out there right now. And here's a look. Things are clean and green right at the moment. We have no reports of any major problems. There was a tree down on Military Pike in the overnight hours. In fact, somebody kind of pulled upon that and crashed into it. They're okay. The tree is being removed. Our last report was that Military Pike was shut down. Hopefully they're clearing that out at this point. No reports of any major problems. And your travel times, they look pretty normal this morning. No major delays, Meredith.
Can't complain about that. Let's hope it stays that way.
That's right. And but I hear more rain.
I was just thinking that could make the roads a little.
And our reporters have the umbrellas up, so there's a signal.
Right.
Don't forget that today. A lot more news coming up for you on your Wednesday on WKYT.
A Missouri community is rallying to help a young boy who's raising money for a new life. We'll have that story when WKYT returns this morning.
Showers overhead right now, a few rumbles of thunder back toward our west, but will those reach us as we go throughout the morning hours, or do we actually get a break? I'm going to break that forecast down for you coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We have the showers overhead. We just heard that on the studio here in Lexington at WKYT Studios. There are just some light showers passing on by. But you know what? We actually see more thunderstorms sparking up back toward the west. This is something we have to watch. As I talked yesterday, there is a front right over us. So as you go off into the night, a lot of times you lose that energy, but it's not fully lost when you have a front over you. When you don't have a front over you, this wouldn't be happening right now. So yeah, that front is really causing some problems just north of Bowling Green. People are being woken up there. We were woken up last night, some areas, from these storms rolling on through, as they were pretty loud. They were pretty big boomers. And look, this is out ahead of our system. Our main system's still well back toward the west. This is still your front is attached to this system. And so we're going to be watching that energy get a little bit closer as we travel through the afternoon and evening hours. I want to show you this, though. This is our RPM model. This is our in-house model. And this is picking up on what's going on very well this morning. Here's 8 a.m. still looking at those showers and thunderstorms really down toward the Cumberland Parkway and also Hal Rogers Parkway. Here's noontime, and noontime doesn't look all that bad. No widespread weather going on, no widespread showers or thunderstorms. So there's some good news for you guys at noontime if you're trying to head out to eat, grab a nice little bite to eat. But here's the deal. Once we get into the afternoon, look what happens. Get those thunderstorms sparking back up. There's 4 p.m. Kids coming home from school. But watch this as we go off into the evening and nighttime hours. Here comes some more storms in the forecast. This is going to keep a few of us up later on this evening and off into the night. A lot of these models, I will tell you this, on the actual timing of the strongest part of this, a lot of these models are not agreeing with each other, which gives us low confidence on what exactly is going to happen. However, our confidence is still strong that we will see thunderstorms later on today, mainly afternoon and evening, but still a few will be left over later on tonight too. We go off into Thursday morning, still a few showers. Watch as it just doesn't get on out. Not fully, not on Thursday, so we still have about a 40 to 60% chance of rain depending on where you live. Temperatures will feel much better though. So we're just going to add rain to our grounds and to our plants outside. if you went ahead and planted some plants, yeah, it's perfect weather for it because you're just getting free water falling out of the sky. It's not bad. Lexington picking up on this particular model, right around an inch of rain as we travel off through Thursday evening. Most of us round an inch to about an inch and a half, so we still have a little bit more to go as we travel through the next 48 hours. Then we take a break on Friday. Friday's a nice break, too. You're talking 70s, you're talking a mixture of sun and clouds. Good day, head out to Keeneland, outdoor events, anything you got going on. You'll want to do it Friday. Saturday, the first half of the day right now looks dry. The second half of the day is when storms start to move in from west to east, meaning once you get off into the eastern zones, eastern Kentucky, as of right now, I mean, if we kept the weather right now for the weekend, you wouldn't even have rain until it hit the nighttime hours. So that just shows you a lot of that rain will be moving in late in the day. Sunday looks pretty messy as you're heading out and about. So this is a pretty active forecast. It is spring, you expect that, but showers and thunderstorms, I'll take what we had yesterday. We only had a couple of reports yesterday of some hail and also some strong winds. But for the most part, it was heavy downpours, a lot of lightning. That wasn't fun trying to go to bed in. But you know what? This is good rain. We need this rain, and it's coming through for us. That's
good.
Sure.
Just stepped up to the newsroom. That situation on a military pike where the tree was down, they've cleared that apparently now, so that's reopened. So that's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
There's not a lot of cleanup this time around, so that's good. Just mostly gentle rain out there.
Right.
Our time this morning is 5:48. Using the old lemonade stand method, a Missouri third grader is working to raise money to help with his own adoption.
Last week, the 9-year-old sold $1 lemonades and cookies while his adoptive family held a yard sale. Now, together, they raised money to help pay for the pricey adoption process. Local media reports the family was hoping to raise $5,000, but between lemonade and donations, they've now raised a whopping $14,000. The family credits the community's support for helping them become an official family.
All right.
Gotta love that.
Great story, and there he is, really vested in that adoption. So it's very, very
$14,000. That's a lot.
What about it? Our time this morning, 5:49. We're rolling toward the 6 o'clock hour, and it's good to have you with us on WKYT.
That's right. Plus, we'll have a look at any traffic that impacts, and like you said, Bill, military pike is clear to go.
Update you on that, and we'll have our top stories and more. See what's hot on the web and social media as well. It's so good to have you with us on WKYT this morning. Good morning. The time 5:53, and we're glad you're up and at it with us early on this Wednesday, the calm after the stormy night. That's what we've had going on out there.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the stories that we're working on at this hour.
Our news team is busy right now. A man is behind bars after starting a fight in a Lexington bar this morning. Police say the scuffle broke out at Max Karaoke on Lane Allen Road after employees caught the man stealing tip money. Despite the man having a gun, employees were able to restrain him without anyone being harmed. The details on that coming up shortly.
And the 2016 presidential candidates turn their attention to Indiana's primary next week following critical primaries in 5 Northeast states.
Donald Trump declared himself the presumptive GOP nominee late yesterday after beating rivals Ted Cruz and John Kasich in Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Connecticut, and Rhode Island. And Democrat Hillary Clinton defeated rival Bernie Sanders in 4 of those 5 states, putting her even closer to clinching the party nomination. Potentially, that could come right about the time of Kentucky's primary on May 17th. Parts of the Great Plains are bracing for another round of severe weather today. On Tuesday, torrential hail and rain hammered Kansas and Oklahoma. Forecasters say the atmosphere today could trigger tornadoes.
And norovirus makes headlines during big outbreaks. Now, it turns out that the stomach bug is a constant health threat. Researchers at Johns Hopkins says the highly contagious disease sickens nearly 700 million people around the world each year, draining billions of dollars in health care. All right, let's go ahead and check in this hour on today's traffic trouble spots with the live drive traffic. And you know what? There doesn't look to be any trouble spots right now. Let's hope the rain kind of keeps it that way. Of course, we don't want any accidents, so be cautious out there with the rain. All right, time to check what's making news online this morning. Bill joins us now with what's happening on the web.
About 5 till 6 right now on WKYT.com. Weather is calming down. We do have those showers out there this morning, but at least not the loud thunderstorms that roll through overnight. Micah says we'll see more showers and storms over the next couple of days. Check our website for your forecast and complete weather coverage anytime. Also, our most viewed story right now is a change on the Lexington restaurant scene. Coba Casino on Richmond Road is closed. Our story tells why the owner said after 3 years in business, it was simply losing too much money. Hundreds of people in Lexington's Meadowthorpe neighborhood have signed a petition, and many are speaking out against the company's plan to build a transfer station for garbage trucks nearby. There's a hearing on that Friday. All sides are expected to attend. A Kentucky man is drawing attention around the country after being accused of urinating on the floor of a plane. He was on a cross-country flight when attendants reported he pulled down his pants, arched his back, and relieved himself on the jet before he was quickly ushered into a restroom. Kentucky women's coach Matthew Mitchell is to hold a news conference later today, and many are asking why so many are leaving the program. Kentucky.com has more on that this morning. And CBS This Morning is coming up at 7 with your eye opener. And look at where things stand in the presidential race after Tuesday's caucuses. Plus, we'll have local updates. Hey, join us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter or Instagram. And for the latest anytime, WKYT.com.
Yeah, we still have those showers overhead. You just heard them there on the studio. I don't know if you did, but we did as they pass on through. A lot of this light showers, some of this moderate rain, and it's sliding on through, but still that front is over us, so you can expect on and off showers and thunderstorms as we head through your day. Thunderstorms now over Bowling Green heading eastbound. So keep in mind if you're down toward Hart County, Green area, that area, Taylor County, that's where you're going to be seeing some of these thunderstorms here in the next couple of hours. More energy back toward the west. I'm going to show you when you can expect those storms to roll on through. Coming up, another hour of WKYT News.